So while doing some research for another Lindsay Clancy video that I'm probably going to have out tomorrow, I stumbled across a woman who's on the side of sanity, and she says something that I found important for us men to talk about. Now, it's a subject I've talked about a little bit on this channel, but I've never heard it put this way before in the context of what she's talking about. She's discussing the women that are supporting Lindsay Clancy, and she's talking about how these women are saying that the husband was not supportive, that he was not doing the things that he needed to do, and how the evidence shows he actually was. So, what she's talking about here is the women saying the man wasn't doing enough. Listen to what she says, because she says something really detailed and specific that I want to get into.
Top of that, this guy called her parents when she was struggling. He supported her through all of her psych visits. He supported her with her ideas of wanting to take certain medications, which she actually lied about, by the way. She goes to him and says, I think I'm going to take Zoloft. So she's already researching medications that she could take to make herself feel better. And she suggests to him, I'm going to take Zoloft. I think it's pretty easy to get. She actually already had it at that time. But he supported all of the help that she was getting outside of the home and also provided a ton of support. I mean, this guy even hired a 12-hour-a-week nanny for her. Like, how many do you have a 12-hour-a-week nanny? I have 4 children. I've never had a nanny. He would hold the baby while he was at work if she needed to get things done. These are all things that were testified to inside the trial. And, you could say you don't believe those things just because this happened, but lots of evidence shows that he was a pretty supportive husband. It's so clear to me that the women who are saying that he just wasn't supportive enough are just projecting what they believe are their own experiences onto this case. And honestly, what I think this really proves is that all of these broads who go on social media and complain about their husband incessantly, he's so stupid, he doesn't take the trash out enough, he's so insensitive to me and my needs. Most of these people are just completely lying because if Patrick Clancy was not a good enough husband and didn't show enough support postpartum, then literally nothing is acceptable to these women to prevent them from actually being accountable for murdering their own children.
So the part that I can speak to is the part where she says that many of the women that are online talking about their men poorly are lying. And while that's not untrue, my experience as a massage therapist and especially as a life coach has led me to realize that not only are a lot of the complaints that the women say are untrue, but moreover, many times the overt bragging about their relationship is even further from the truth. Now, a lot of times I would take messages through Facebook. People would be contacting me through Facebook. So you know how it is on Facebook. If you're messaging with them, suddenly their stuff starts to show up in your feed more often. And I don't have enough fingers to count fingers, toes. I might have enough hair on. If you counted one hair at a time, how many times I was either the person's massage therapist or their life coach or both, and I knew the truth of the situation of their relationship. And let me tell you something, it ain't what they're putting on Facebook, good or bad, but especially good. I saw some crazy things. I was personally involved in some crazy things. I've seen women messaging me. Now, this was separate from my practice. This was just women that were interested in me. I've seen women messaging me telling me how bad their marriage was and how they, knocking on my door to see how things are for me. While at the same time, and I mean like the same time, posting on Facebook with the picture of them with the husband and the kids and how they thank God for this man and how everything is great. And let me just tell you something. You never know who you can trust. You never know who's telling the truth. So it's one thing to say that the women that were online talking negatively about their men are not telling the truth. And that's an entirely different thing because men and women define things differently. Most of the time, I found out that when a woman says that she was being emotionally abused, most of the time it just meant that the man was trying to hold her accountable for her words or actions, and he was not allowing her to cry her way out of situations. And so the more she would cry, the more upset that she would get by him trying to hold her accountable, she would say the man was abusing her. But what was worse was, especially in my coaching practice, knowing women, knowing how they felt about their husbands, knowing that they were actively cheating on their husbands, knowing that they were seeking to actively cheat on their husbands. That was bad enough. But then if you went to their Facebook, Instagram pages, you would never in a million years assume that something like that was going on. It's almost as if you can count, there's a direct correlation between how much they're posting, how happy they are, and how great the man is versus what they really feel. It's almost like they're just trying to put out the appearance, either that or they're just trying to convince themselves. So when this woman talked about how there are the women saying that what Lindsay Clancy's husband wasn't doing, well, what he was doing wasn't enough, and she says they were, a lot of women lie about what the men are doing to the negative. It's worse if you see somebody who's posting constantly about how great their husband is, how awesome their boyfriend is, how much they love. I mean, I've seen things, the things that I saw as a massage therapist and a relationship coach, black pilled me like nothing else could. Forget about red pill, blue pill. Like, if you're ever going to be in a relationship, you either just have to decide whether or not you're going to trust somebody before you get into the relationship or not. Because once you dig into almost anybody's history, you're going to find reasons to distrust them. I don't think that there's anybody, and I've talked about this in this channel, talked about it with Donna, who I'm in a relationship with now. She understands the situation. The things that I have seen lead me to the point where before I met somebody in a new relationship, I just had to make the decision I'm going to trust her no matter what, simply for the sake of there's nothing that anybody is ever going to do or say that's going to, in quotes, make up for the things that I've seen. Because I've seen some crazy, crazy things, and it's never the people that you would expect. And let me tell you, when I say it's never the people that you would expect, the more that they're happy on Facebook, especially, and I hate to put it this way, but a significant portion of the women that I knew that were being disloyal in their relationships were the same ones posting about God and Christianity and religion and how it affected their relationship in a positive way. There was a direct correlation between the positivity that the women were posting versus the infidelity that was going on in the relationship. To the point that I would say that the women that are posting negatively probably have a less likely percentage of cheating, because if they're posting negatively, they're still in some crazy way, not to call them crazy, but in some crazy way, they're still like hoping something will change, hoping he'll see it, hoping somebody will see it. I know that it doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's what I saw. By the time a woman gets to the point where she's posting how fantastic is, most of the time, not all the time, but many of the times they're posting how fantastic it is as a cover for the reality, so that mom and dad and grandma and grandpa and the friends and everybody that they still interact with, that's why people say, I had no idea. I would have never thought that was going on. Because many times the over positivity is just a mask. They're just posting that to give the impression that everything is fantastic. And many times they credit God and religion for how fantastic it is, while at the same time actively cheating on their partner because they've given up on actually achieving anything that they're portraying their relationship to be like. So I had not been paying a lot of attention to the Lindsay Clancy thing because I'm not someone who generally looks into the news a lot. I did put out a video on my thoughts about the women that are supporting her on TikTok. That video is going to be linked above or linked in the description here. Not as many people saw it as I would like, because I give my perspective. My mother actually had severe postpartum depression. My natural mother actually had severe postpartum, to the point where my dad had to take me and move away. So I do have a little bit of a unique perspective on that situation. So check out that video. I'm also having something coming out either later today or tomorrow, where I'm actually going to start proposing some solutions. Instead of arguing with these women, I'm going to take them at their word, and let's see if we can actually come to an agreeable solution. Because, as many men will find, many times, once you give a woman what she wants, well, she doesn't want it anymore. So I'm curious, if we listen to the women that are supporting Lindsay and we try to come up with solutions. I'm very curious what their opinions on those solutions will be. For now, that's it, and I'll see you in the next one.